Welcome, Mahela. Have you chosen your 12 or your 11 for tomorrow's match?
No, we haven't because we want to give Dinesh Chandimal another 24 hours to see how he pulls up. He did bat yesterday. He had few run-throughs and stuff, so pulled out pretty well. But we want to give him as much as time if he's fit, and everyone else seems to be in good condition. So we'll assess our final 11 once we get a report on him as well.
Would it just be a like for like with a batsman?
Yeah, I mean, Kusal kept wickets pretty well. He batted well, but yeah, we'll see what we need to do, given the surface as well. If you need to change the combination with our bowling attack and all that, so we make that final call once we realize where Chandimal is.
Australia's got their own issues. Moses Enriques has busted his hand in the nets this morning and gone for some scans. If he can't play, they've got to choose between a fast bowling all-rounder or a spinning all-rounder. They've only got 3 quicks in there at the moment. Do you see the Gabba wicket out there as being one where you need to have 4 quicks?
Well, the last time we played, obviously, it did have a bit of bounce and probably a little bit more movement as well, but it depends. I mean, yesterday's the way the weather was and the wicket looked fresh, but today is pretty hot. So if the wicket's baked and all that, you'll never know. But we still have 4 quicks in our lineup with Angelo and Thisara being the 2 all-rounders. So, but we just need to make a call on whether we need a bit of extra pace in the lineup or not. So we'll make that call once, like I said, with when Chandi's fitness is assessed. Unlucky for Moise, I hope it's not too bad, but I felt that he probably will play as that 7th batsman all-rounder. So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what they come up with.
Would you be surprised if Australia entered the clash with the spinner as the all-rounder rather than bringing a seamer or a quick bowler into the attack?
Well, they did go with that combination in the last 2 games. They had 2 spinners as their all-round option. It's tough. I think a lot of the teams are trying to figure out with the new rules and the field restrictions, what would be their best combination, whether you need 5 good bowlers to cope up with the field restrictions, or can you handle with those half bowlers. So even for us, this is our 5th game with these new regulations, so we're just fiddling around with what would be the best combination. So it's just of us seeing the conditions, seeing the opposition, and getting it right.
How do you prepare now? You've got, as they say, the big 3 back. Obviously the skipper moves back into the side. How do you prepare against the new Australian team? They were calling the old one obviously the B side. In theory, you've got the best side on the paddock now.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't play a B side. I played the Australian national side a couple of days ago. Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to have Davey and Michael back, I guess. But, we prepare the same way. We know we played them last year as well. We had a very good outing against them. We just need to, change our game plan a little bit, have different plans for those guys and try and execute that. I think that's the most important thing. Very comfortable with what we've got and how we go about things in one-day cricket, and we will try and back ourselves to do the same.
You must come into the game very confident after your last victory.
Yeah, it is. I think, after Melbourne, obviously we were not up to our standards, especially with the ball. We probably bowled too many 4 balls in Melbourne. And on Adelaide wicket, we probably had a little bit more help. We bowled good areas, we created opportunities. So if we can keep up that pressure with the spinners we've got and the all-rounders, I think, we've got a very good balanced side. And, even though we have few injuries and, we're fiddling with few changes with our batting lineup, we're very comfortable, what we are trying to do. And, yeah, it was a good win in Adelaide, and hopefully, we can repeat that.
Do you see any weaknesses in the Australian team at the moment?
It's one-day cricket. It's about how you handle pressure out there in the middle. You can be strong in a lot of departments, but it's on the middle, the situation, how you can handle that. That's what one-day cricket is all about. So, handling pressure.
What's your thoughts, Mahela, about how the new restrictions, the new fielding restrictions have changed the game? Are you a fan of the way it's altered things?
To be honest, I'm not a big fan. I thought the last product we had was pretty decent. The two new balls, yes, gives the bowlers a bit more venom. The quicks get more options, which is great. The only downside to the field restrictions is the spinners. I think they're taken away from the game. To be honest with you, because most of the spinners are being very negative now, bowling to whatever the field setting is, what we've given, and trying to bowl like fewer overs with fewer runs rather than trying to take wickets and use their variety. You have to be very bold to bowl with variety with the field restrictions. So for me, I think the top, unless you're a top spinner who got a lot of varieties and all that, can survive, and the rest of the guys will struggle and be very, very negative in their approach. So with the balls not getting old, the reverse swings not being used now. So I thought that was a really good art in one-day cricket, and it was a component that a lot of the bowlers used. So, yeah, I mean, it's challenging, but I'm not a big fan of the new rules. I think it's restricting bowlers more, and the batsmen are getting a free hand in it.
Taking some of the risk out of bowling in a way. The bowlers would be more willing to take extra risks by throwing, spinners particularly, by throwing it up a little bit more if they had extra
fielded down. Yeah, no, exactly. I think I feel that a lot of the bowlers around the world were very competitive with what we had, like guys like Swan and Ajmal and all the other spinners as well. If you want an extra fielder in the ring to create pressure, anyway they will bring that extra fielder or the second fielder if they want to create that pressure. But sometimes having those fielders at the back and throwing the ball up and asking the batsman whether you want to take the risk clearing those fielders was tactically a good option as well for some of the spinners. So now I think they're being more negative in bowling to the pads, giving that easy single to the batsman to a set field. It's more like a set play and get on with it. So I mean, personally, I think we need to look at that aspect very carefully, because you're actually playing 50 overs of power play, which I don't think it's necessary. I think if you need to put pressure, the captains and the bowlers will anyway bring the fielders up and have them and give them that option rather than forcing it on them.
Just on a separate topic, what do you make of the Gabba wicket? Michael Clarke was in here this morning saying he thinks it's possibly the best one-day arena or one-day wicket in the world.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think yesterday when I saw it was really hard and looked good. I think with the sun on it today, it should be a very, very good wicket. I think we've enjoyed playing here a couple of times. We had a good outing against India last time we were here as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those wickets, you can play your shots and, the bowlers will have something in it for them as well. So, definitely a good challenge for all the cricketers.
I'll just ask you one more time. Do you expect Australia to play with Moses Henriques, or are you going to prepare for a replacement player to come into the side?
The way they've been changing and chopping, it's quite tough for us to keep up as well. So, well, we'll just keep our heads around and see what the outcome is. I'm sure we'll get to hear something maybe tomorrow morning or so. It'll anyway will be with either they'll go with Maxi, or they'll go with Cutting coming in and having Johnson at 7 as the all-rounder. So we'll just prepare for that. If not, Moyes is fine, then he'll play as 7. So we don't have to think too far ahead. I don't think they can bring anyone that quickly to Brisbane.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Thanks.